Train your brain for English fluency, not by forcing it, not by pressuring it, but by understanding it. Because English fluency is not about how smart you are. It is about how safe your brain feels while learning. Many people blame themselves and say, I am bad at English. But the truth is, most people are not bad at English. They are simply afraid of it. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself something honestly. When you try to speak English, what happens inside you? Does your heart beat faster? Does your mind go blank? Do you suddenly feel judged even when no one is judging you? That reaction is not a language problem. That is a fear response. And until you train your brain to feel safe, fluency will always feel far away. Your brain's first job is not learning. Its first job is protection. When it senses embarrassment, mistakes, or past failure, it activates fear. That fear blocks speech. That is why you understand English when you listen, but freeze when you speak. Understanding is quiet, speaking is exposure, and exposure feels risky to an untrained brain. So the first step toward English fluency is not vocabulary. It is trust. You must teach your brain that English will not hurt you. I learned this through life, not through books. There were moments when my body had limits, when my life changed in ways I never expected, and when the world suddenly felt louder than my own voice. In those moments, I understood something deeply. When you lose control of many things, the one place you still have power is your mind. And how you train it decides whether you rise or retreat. English fluency works the same way. You do not train it through fear. You train it through kindness. The way you speak to yourself matters more than the way teachers speak to you. If every time you make a mistake you say, I am stupid, your brain will avoid English. But if you say, I am learning, your brain will stay open. Your brain believes repetition. Whatever you repeat becomes truth inside you. So stop saying, my English is bad. Start saying, my English is growing. These are not motivational words. These are neurological instructions. Your internal dialogue creates the emotional environment in which learning either thrives or dies. Every negative thought about your abilities creates a small barrier. Every compassionate thought removes one. Over time, these small shifts accumulate into massive changes in how your brain approaches the language. Think about how you learned to walk as a child. You fell hundreds of times, but you never said, I am bad at walking. You simply got up and tried again. Your brain did not interpret falling as failure, it interpreted it as information. That same mindset must be applied to English. Every mistake is not proof of inability, it is proof of effort. Fluency does not come from perfect grammar, it comes from flow. And flow only happens when judgment is removed. Children do not become fluent because they know rules. They become fluent because they are not afraid of sounding wrong. Your brain learned your first language through repetition, listening, and usage. English is no different. The mistake many adult learners make is approaching English like a math problem to be solved rather than a skill to be developed. They focus on correctness before comfort. They prioritize accuracy before automaticity. But fluency is not built this way. Fluency is built through countless repetitions where meaning matters more than form. When a child says, I go to the park, parents understand. They do not stop the conversation to correct grammar. They respond to the meaning. And through continued exposure and practice, the child eventually self-corrects. Your brain has this same natural learning mechanism, but it only activates when you remove the pressure of perfection. To train your brain, you must bring English into your daily life gently, not in big lessons, in small thoughts. When you wake up, think, I am awake. When you drink water, think, I am drinking water. When you walk, think, I am walking. These simple sentences train your brain to think in English without pressure. This method works because it bypasses the fear response. You are not performing for anyone. You are not being tested. You are simply narrating your life in English. This builds what linguists call automaticity, the ability to use language without conscious effort. The more you think in English throughout your day, the more natural pathways your brain creates for English expression. Start with present tense descriptions of your immediate experience, then gradually expand. Describe what you see. The sky is blue, the trees are moving. Describe what you feel. I feel tired. I feel hungry. Describe what you want. I want coffee. I want to rest. These are not complex sentences, but they are powerful training exercises. Many learners make the mistake of translating everything. Translation slows the brain. It creates hesitation. Fluency happens when meaning connects directly to English without passing through another language. When you hear the word door, do not translate it. See the door. That connection is fluency. Translation creates a middleman between thought and speech. Your brain must think in your native language, convert to English, then speak. This three-step process is exhausting and slow. True fluency is when you think in English and speak in English with no conversion needed. To build this direct connection, practice associating English words with images, feelings, and experiences rather than with words in your native language. When you learn the word happy, do not memorize its translation. Instead, recall a moment when you felt happy. Attach the English word to that memory. This creates a direct emotional and cognitive link that translation cannot provide. Listening is another powerful way to train your brain. Your brain must hear English every day, not sometimes, not only in class, every day, even 10 minutes. Listening trains your brain to rhythm, speed, and natural structure. You do not need to understand everything. Your brain learns patterns automatically. When you listen regularly, your brain begins to recognize the music of English, the stress patterns, the intonation, the natural pauses. These elements are rarely taught explicitly, but they are essential for natural sounding speech. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Give it enough input, and it will extract the patterns on its own. Choose listening material that matches your current level but challenges you slightly. If you understand nothing, the input is too difficult. If you understand everything, it is too easy. The sweet spot is understanding about 70%. This keeps your brain engaged without overwhelming it. And when you listen, repeat. Speak out loud. Copy the sound, not the spelling. English lives in the mouth, not on paper. Your tongue must learn the movement. Many people understand English but cannot speak because their mouth has never been trained. Speaking is physical. It needs practice. Shadowing, speaking along with audio at the same time, is particularly effective. It trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain simultaneously. You develop muscle memory for English sounds and rhythm. Your tongue learns which positions create which sounds. Your jaw learns how much to open. Your lips learn when to round and when to spread. These are physical skills that only develop through practice. Do not wait to feel confident before speaking. Confidence is not a requirement, it is a result. Every time you speak, even imperfectly, your brain learns that nothing bad happened. That survival builds confidence. Silence builds fear. This is perhaps the most important principle to understand. Confidence does not create fluency. Fluency creates confidence. Waiting to feel ready means never starting. You must speak before you feel prepared. You must practice while still uncomfortable. This is the only path forward. Speak to yourself, speak in front of a mirror, speak while cooking, speak while walking. Your brain does not need an audience. It needs repetition. Private practice is valuable practice. Many fluent speakers develop their skills through thousands of hours of private speech before ever speaking publicly. Record yourself speaking and listen back. This feels uncomfortable at first, but it teaches you to hear yourself as others hear you. You begin to notice your own patterns, your hesitations, your strengths. This awareness accelerates improvement. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is. Every moment you choose silence over imperfect speech, you reinforce the fear response. Every moment you choose imperfect speech over silence, you train courage. Your brain learns through action, not intention. Speaking imperfectly teaches your brain more than thinking perfectly ever could. And let me say this gently. Your accent is not a failure. Your accent is proof that you know more than one language. The world does not need you to sound native. It needs you to communicate. In today's world, English is spoken by millions of non-native speakers. Fluency is about clarity, not perfection. Native-sounding pronunciation is not the goal. Being understood is the goal. Some of the most successful English speakers in international business, academia, and diplomacy have strong accents. Their value comes from what they say, not how they sound. Your accent carries your history, your identity, your linguistic heritage. It is nothing to hide. Focus instead on clarity. Work on sounds that cause confusion. Practice word stress and sentence rhythm. These elements affect comprehension much more than individual sound perfection. If people understand you, your accent is working just fine. Comparison is another thing that damages fluency. When you compare your English to someone else's, your brain feels threatened. Threat shuts down learning. Your journey is yours. Some people started earlier. Some had exposure. Some had confidence. You have your own pace. Respect it. Someone who grew up watching English movies has a different starting point than someone who only encountered English in school. Someone who learned English at age 5 has a different brain development pattern than someone learning at age 35. These differences do not reflect capability. They reflect circumstance. Celebrate small progress. The first sentence you speak without freezing. The first time you understand without subtitles. These moments tell your brain, we are improving. And a brain that feels rewarded learns faster. Create personal milestones rather than comparing yourself to others. Perhaps this month you could order food in English without preparation. Perhaps next month you could have a 5-minute conversation. These personal victories matter more than any comparison. Your brain also learns through emotion. If English feels like punishment, learning will be slow. If English feels interesting, learning accelerates. Connect English with things you love, stories, music, topics you care about. Language should feel like access, not pressure. Watch movies you enjoy in English. Read about subjects that fascinate you. Listen to podcasts about your hobbies. When English becomes the bridge to things you want, rather than a barrier you must cross, your brain stops resisting it. Learning becomes natural because it serves your genuine interests. There will be days when you feel stuck. That does not mean nothing is happening. Learning is invisible before it becomes visible. Trust the process. Your brain is changing even when you do not notice. Neurons are forming connections. Patterns are being stored. Skills are developing beneath conscious awareness. Plateau periods are normal. Sometimes you practice for weeks and feel no improvement. Then suddenly something clicks. A sentence flows naturally. A conversation feels easy. These breakthroughs do not come from sudden inspiration. They come from accumulated practice, finally reaching a threshold. Keep practicing through the plateau. The breakthrough is coming. English fluency is not built in one day. It is built in daily kindness toward yourself. Show up daily. Speak imperfectly. Listen patiently. Practice gently. Consistency matters more than intensity. 10 minutes every day creates more progress than 3 hours once a week. Your brain needs regular input to build strong pathways. In the future, English will not belong to those who are fearless. It will belong to those who are consistent, to those who keep speaking despite mistakes, to those who treat learning as a relationship, not a test. A relationship requires patience, understanding, and regular attention. So does language learning. Train your brain with patience. Train it with repetition. Train it with courage. Train it with kindness. You are not late. You are not incapable. You are learning. And learning, when done honestly and consistently, always leads to fluency. English is not here to judge you. English is here to give you a voice. Train your brain, and that voice will rise, one sentence at a time.